千里之行，始于足下. A journey of 1,000 miles begins beneath the feet. We now gather in the Tao to travel the journey together. Welcome to Tao Talks with Derek Lin, where we take a deep dive into the Daodejing by Lao Zi. I would like to invite you to center your thoughts and direct your attention to this moment in time, to the here and now. To be fully present and mindfully aware as we all ready ourselves for this sacred process of the Tao. Once upon a time in ancient China, during the Warring States period, there was a highly regarded doctor by the name of Bianque. He had an amazing ability to diagnose illness through observations. One day, he visited with the ruler Cai Huangdi in the land of Qi. After they spoke for a while, Bianque reported to the ruler that he was afflicted with an illness. In the early stages of the illness, he said, "Your Majesty, your illness is at the surface level. If it's left untreated, I'm afraid it will go deeper." The ruler said, "I feel fine. Whatever this illness is, I do not have it." So Bianque left, and after he left, the ruler said to his ministers, "Medical doctors like to treat those who are not really sick and then claim credit for the healing." So he was just, that wasn't true. So after 10 days, Bianque, the doctor, came by to see the ruler again. He observed as before, and then he said, "Your Majesty, your illness is now at the level of skin and flesh. If it is untreated, it will go deeper into the body." The ruler ignored this and did not respond. It was awkward, and Bianque had no choice but to leave. Even after he left, the ruler was displeased. He expressed his displeasure. Why was this doctor so annoying? He kept bringing up this non-existent illness. 10 more days passed, and again, Bianque, the doctor, came for his visits. He looked at the ruler, and he was alarmed. He said, "Your Majesty, your illness has gone into the stomach. If we do not treat it as soon as possible, it will go even deeper into your body." As before, the ruler ignored the remark and remained silent as if he hadn't heard anything. Bianque knew that the situation was very serious, but he could not do anything about it if the patient was not willing to cooperate. As he took his leave, he saw that the ruler seemed even more displeased than before. After 10 more days, Bianque saw the ruler from a distance, and immediately he turned around to get further away. This was definitely something that did not go unnoticed. The ruler saw this and sent a messenger to go after him. The messenger caught up with the doctor and asked why he was in such a hurry to leave. Bianque said it was due to the ruler's illness. He explained, "You see, when the illness is at the surface level, it can be treated with applying ointment. When it goes to the skin and flesh level, it can be treated with acupuncture. When it goes deeper into the stomach, it can still be treated with medicinal potions. When it finally goes even deeper into the bones, then it is all up to fate, because it can no longer be treated. That is the case now with His Majesty. His illness has gone into his bones, so there is nothing I can do about it. 5 days after this, the ruler felt much pain and realized that he was indeed very ill. He ordered his men to fetch the doctor at once, but they could not find him. Bianque had already escaped to another kingdom. Not long after that, the ruler succumbed to the illness and died. The end. So everyone, what can we get out of this story? You can probably guess already that when Tao masters tell this particular story, based on the history of the Warring States period, they're not really talking about medical issues at all. Rather, they are addressing the problems that we come across in life. So let's break the story down into its components to get a better sense of the insights from the Tao perspective. First, let's look at stages of illness. So according to this story, an illness is easy to treat in its initial stages when it's just starting to take hold. That is when it is the easiest to treat. If you were to ignore the illness, it will go deeper into the body, which increases the difficulty of treatment. And after a while of this progression of increasing difficulty, the difficult becomes the impossible. As the doctor said in the story, it is all up to fate, because there is nothing that the humans can do about the illness. So what about the other perspective? What is the problem on the ruler's side? Well, he initially denied that he was sick at all, that he had no illness. Whatever discomfort he might have felt, he just dismissed it right out of hand. And then later on, as it became more serious, he refused to admit that he was wrong. And this is really the role that the human ego plays. It plays that same role in all kinds of different problems that we encounter in life. There are many different kinds of problems, just like the body can be sick or ill in many different ways. Whether it's the sickness, the illness of the body, or a problem in life, they all follow the same pattern. When you catch them early, you can treat them, you can correct them, remedy them with relative ease. What a lot of people do instead is similar to the ruler, in that many people use a combination of ignorance and arrogance. If you were to ignore the problem does not go away. Indeed, it may get worse and worse until one day when everything comes crashing down. In the story, that's That's when the ruler felt the pain and then soon after died. Let me also point out that when we talk about this, when Tao masters tell this particular story, they're pointing out not just the problems in life, in the material world, but also problems in the intangible aspects of life, i.e., the spiritual cultivation. So all of these lead me to the line from the Daodejing: the difficult tasks of the world must be handled through the simple tasks. Applied to this particular story, it means that a disease that eventually becomes very difficult to treat and impossible to treat, when it's small, when it's simple, it has to be handled at that time. So let's explore the different patterns as they manifest in terms of illness, problems in life, and cultivation. As we have seen in the story, at the surface level, you can treat the illness with ointment. And in ancient times, what they would do was that they would soak cloth in medicinal ointment or medicinal potion, and then apply that to the body, a surface level treatment. So when the problem is at the beginning, when the problem is still just more of a potential or just starting to rear its head, at that point, it can be headed off, like when we say, nip it in the bud, headed off at the pass. Those are Western expressions about the same wisdom. A potential issue can be prevented. What about in cultivation? What happens in cultivation when a problem is small? Well, it can occur when you are reviewing your own words and actions. The question to ask is, in what I said and what I did, how I interacted with other people, was I acting and speaking in accordance to the Tao? So for most people, that's not always the case. We've got good moments and not so great moments. We've got times when we are calm and collected, at our best, really, and then there were also times when we, quote unquote, lost it. And speaking from personal experience, definitely, human beings are not perfect. I am certainly imperfect. So there will be times when I lose my temper. That's actually not in accordance with the Tao, because I am likely not responding to the negative with the positive when I lose my temper. What about the next level further in? Well, in the story, it's when the illness has gone to the skin and flesh. So it's actually not at the surface level anymore. It's gone deeper. It's gone below the skin. And this can still be treated with acupuncture. And this is a metaphor for a problem that's gone deeper, that's manifested more into reality, still in the initial phase. At this point, acupuncture is a metaphor for being able to correct the problem in a fairly easy way. So at the initial phase of a problem, it is still easy to handle. And in cultivation, that initial phase of a personal issue with cultivation is the realization that you have veered off the path, that what you have done is actually pretty far away from the Tao, and it's time to get back on track. So the overall, you can see how this works in cultivation. We must observe our own conduct to make sure we're still maintaining ourselves in alignment with the Tao. In life, it is the same idea. We observe a situation in order to discern a problem in it, if there's a problem. Let's explore the next level down. Okay, now the illness has gone to the stomach, and it can be treated by taking medicinal potion. And this is often cooked using medicinal herbs in ancient China and can be extremely effective. So a problem that's becoming more serious is a problem that has become entrenched. When a problem is entrenched, it's set, it's more permanent, it requires more effort to root it out, to get rid of it, to correct it. In cultivation, a personal problem, a spiritual issue, becomes more entrenched when you dismiss or ignore your flaws. And this can lead to further issues in your spiritual cultivation. Lastly, in the final parts of the story, we saw that the illness has gone into the bones. So it's beyond remedies. It's beyond anything that the doctor could do. So what happens when a problem gets to that level? Well, it's a disaster. It's likely to cause damage. You are likely to suffer much damage. And this could be just, suffering in general in life, the disappointments, the upsets, the heartbreak. It could be a problem that manifests in a material way, a loss of financial resources, maybe a loss of one's mental well-being or physical well-being, etc. And then lastly, for spiritual cultivation, you can have spiritual issues that become set, that becomes permanent and cause problems, serious issues affecting your life. So no matter if it is a problem in life or an issue in spiritual cultivation, they all follow the same pattern. This is the reason why Tao masters tell this particular story, hoping that we will be wise enough to apply the same patterns to everything that we observe, externally and internally. Our meeting has come to an end, but the journey continues on. Let us all travel safely so we can meet again. Until next time, may the Tao fill you with peace and happiness.